Hello everyone and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, the show where Tennille and I take a look at every single theatrically released animated film in chronological order. I'm Whitney.
I'm Tennille.
And today we are taking a look at Space Adventure Cobra, the movie. From Yes. From Tokyo Movie Shinsa, Japan.
Yep. So, thoughts?
This was surprisingly fun.
This was awesome. I think this genuinely kicked ass.
This is easily the best space movie we've watched from Japan for quite a while.
I'm gonna say it's the best space movie we've watched since, like, Yamato.
Mm-hmm. From Japan specifically.
Easily.
Because I'm trying to figure out how this compares to the other movie we watched with the time travel.
Oh, from South Korea?
No, it was
Not
French.
Not the Time Machine one?
Time Masters.
Time Masters.
Tennille. It was about the little kid just stranded on the island, the planet by himself, and the other people were coming to get him.
Oh, right. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed this more.
I mean, fair, yes. Yeah.
Much more of like a popcorn flick kind of film, while the other one, it was more like classic sci-fi existential dread kind of movie.
Absolutely.
You know, so like these are two very different kind of sci-fi films.
Yes. Mm-hmm. One's serious and one's fun.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I thought this was a ton of fun, very charismatic main character, and like the animation in general is very charismatic. The action is really fun.
They do a lot with like just, I would say, the camera movements and stuff like that.
Camera angles, camera movements, transition shots. Not all of them work 100%, and some of them can be a little hokey. It's kind of like, you know, the weird transitions in like the very first Star Wars movie, where you're like, that was weird, didn't need to do that. So they don't always work all the time, and I will say some of the pacing for the emotional beats in the film can kind of come and go really fast.
Yeah.
I wish that they would hold on to those moments just a little longer. But overall, this was a really fun film to watch, and I'm going to say that if you're interested in this one at all, you should go watch it now.
Yeah.
And come back to our review later.
Yeah, because there's a plot synopsis that's a mile long.
Mm-hmm. And I also want to say, before you get into that plot synopsis, that from its story beats alone, I don't know that this is necessarily a film I would like.
Yeah.
Based on just, like, the story beats, but it's the way the movie presents them in such, like, a fun, sci-fi, charismatic way that I'm like, yeah, this is actually really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. The main character is very charismatic, and I would say that the movie as a whole kind of has a Lupin the Third vibe to it. That level of, like,
fun absurdity kind of thing.
Yeah, we're doing a bunch of really weird, silly stuff, and we're running around, but, like, it's fun, and it's not like, oh god, we're all gonna die or anything.
Right, and a lot of these like plot beats that you're going to hit, and even the characterization tropes that our main character is going to fall under, are kind of like a recipe for something I would not like. But they're all handled in a way I find fairly tasteful for these subjects.
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, why don't you go ahead and give us your plot synopsis?
Jane Flower is a bounty hunter.
I already like her. Her name's Flower.
And yeah, she goes around hunting bounties and stuff, and that's how her movie starts. And she's turning in one, and a guy notices her, and he's like, she seems pretty cool. And
she's hot.
Yeah, she's hot. And this is our main character, Cobra. And he wants to get with her.
So he immediately stalks her out of the bar.
So it turns out there's an evil guild that runs the universe, essentially. They're pulling the strings behind everything. And they want both of these people.
Yes, so there's like a $7 trillion
bajillion
bounty on Cobra, But yeah, it also turns out that Jane Flower is also wanted by the guild.
Yes. So the reason that they want Cobra specifically is because he's got a super special gun arm. That his left arm can turn into a gun, and he can use thought power to shoot energy bullets or something.
Yeah, he's also supposedly already dead.
Yeah, when the movie starts, he's supposedly already dead. But he's changed his physiology and stuff.
Right.
So that he's been hiding for 2 years or something.
Yeah, like one of the most iconic things he does, and I can only imagine that in the manga this was like something that was drawn over and over again, is like the pose he specifically does to like get rid of the disguise hiding his hand and bring forth the, what did they call it, like a psych cannon?
Psycho gun?
Psycho gun, yeah. So like a
Yeah.
psycho gun.
Because it uses psychokinetic powers.
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
So, once he reveals the gun arm, she believes that he's actually the Cobra,
Because he's like the only one who has one of these
he's
things.
literally the only one, apparently. And she falls instantly in love with him. She's like, yes, this is the man of my dreams, I love him, and this is very important to me and my culture.
Yes.
So, For reasons. So, they go to a different planet
She's like, Cobra, help me.
Yeah, come with me. I love you so much. You're the love of my life. We gotta go save my sister, Catherine. She's on this prison
he's
ship.
Like, whoa, girl, I just kind of want like a one-night stand thing. Like, you're hot, but like, I don't know about this falling in love business.
Well, anyways, I'll help you get your sister back or whatever.
Yeah, can't say no to a pretty girl in distress.
Yeah, so they go to this prison ship, and it turns out the sister Catherine does not want to be saved. And the person running this is the guild, and specifically the leader of the guild, Crystal Boy.
Not a very intimidating name. I would maybe reworkshop that. However, this guy's design,
He's awesome.
this is so cool.
So when we first see him, he looks like he's coated in gold, but then he like dips his fingers into his forehead. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, so he's made of like liquid metal or something. But then it turns out that he's just got like a liquid body over a mechanical skeleton or something. But no one can touch him. Energy goes right through him. Physical things go right through him. He pulls out his ribs and fights with those.
Yeah. Specifically, Cobra's psycho gun can't really do anything to him because the psycho gun is like energy beams of light, kind of.
Yeah, so it just...
like it goes right through him.
Like, this guy's design is really interesting and fun.
It's so like campy and extra. I really like it.
So, the sister Catherine doesn't want to be saved, and Crystal Boy beats the ever-loving crap out of Cobra, and then they cryogenically freeze him. And then Catherine goes to see her sister Jane and stabs her.
Yo.
So it turns out that they are to become the queen of their home planet, and either one of them becomes queen if the other is dead, or all three of them...
You should mention there's a third sister.
Yeah, I'm mentioning that now. All three of them, spoilers, is the third triplet, all three of them love the same man.
Again, from this plot synopsis, you're like, what is this patriarchal fucking bullshit? This sounds like a trash fire. But, like, the way it's presented is fun. And I will admit, like, this whole, like, triplet sister thing.
All loving the same one man.
Like, it's like, alright, you're skating by on thin ice movie. But, like, I can bear with it for this plot.
So, yeah, Catherine doesn't want to love Cobra. She wants to be queen by herself. So she kills Jane. And Jane passes her love on to the third sister, who is Dominique. Well, so that rescue mission failed pretty spectacularly.
Well,
but
also...
this also... her passing her love on somehow turns Cobra into a love zombie.
Yeah.
And even though he's technically unconscious, he breaks out of his frozen state, punches through the floor, falls to the planet's surface, goes into the ocean, picks up Jane's dead body, and then they're picked up by Cobra's sidekick, who I haven't mentioned at this point, but Lady Armoroid is this robot lady that runs his ship, essentially. And she's awesome. She's like great wingman.
Right. This movie's filled with, like, it's the very 80s idea of, like, strong female characters, you know? But, like, it's filled with a lot of, like, strong, badass female characters.
Yeah, so Lady Armoroid is really neat. She's just like robot lady. You'd think with a robot lady that has like boobs built on her and stuff that the main character would be hitting on her all the time, but he doesn't. They're like just good pals.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Although she is kind of like a jealous girlfriend type.
Vaguely jealous. Yeah. Of all these random twins and triplets that he's getting with.
Yeah.
Lady Armoroid here to restart Cobra's heart plays this sick ass pipe organ.
Yeah, the sequence was so sick.
There's just like it's just like a music video for no reason. It's awesome.
This movie is constantly like, that was fucking dope, moment after moment. Like that's the feeling you get watching this movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jane is dead, but Cobra has been told where the third sister is. It's off on this ice planet. So they go to the ice planet.
Oh, yo, you also haven't mentioned the Professor Baby God deity that follows them around.
Right, yes.
Hologram bubble.
So, yeah, there's like a weird professor guy that has given all of the knowledge to these triplets to be queens and stuff.
He holds like the memories and
of their entire planet, because their planet is like mostly dead and they're the only ones left, but they get to choose what to do with the planet, essentially. Right. But he's like helping them. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I guess Jane's dead. Shoot her into space or whatever. Go find Dominique.
Yeah.
So we go to this ice planet, and there are girl rebels who rob a snow train.
Yo, okay.
Led by another badass lady.
Sandra. Can we talk about Sandra? She's a one-eyed snowboarding pirate.
Yarg, I'm stealing your booty.
She's amazing.
But yeah, she runs a group of all-female rebels who are, like, unhappy with how their planet is being run and stuff, so they're fighting back against the patriarchy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Dominique is with them, and she rides around on this energy horse.
Yeah, she has a ponyta.
Yeah, sure, okay, cool. Anyways, she instantly is in love with Cobra because she got Jane's love for him. And she explains more of the rules of how this all works. So the three triplets are actually all one and the same being that were split into three parts, and there are two ways it can go. Like I said, all three of them love the same man, or only one lives and the other two die. But if all three of them love the same man, they refuse into one being and will be a perfect queen for their home planet.
Yeah.
So at this point, they have to get Cobra and Catherine to love each other, or like Catherine has to die.
Yeah, and they've pretty much decided like Catherine probably has to die.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna try to love her, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Anyways, Crystal Boy comes and is attacking the snow planet and kills like everybody, including Dominique. she's like running away, and he throws one of his ribs like a javelin, just stabs her.
Yeah, through the chest.
So she dies.
Poor Dominique.
So now Cobra is on like a final revenge thing. He's got to go kill Catherine because she is now officially queen of the planet.
Right.
But he's got to stop her before she runs it into the sun of the solar system to destroy that solar system because she's in love with Crystal Boy, and Crystal Boy wants to destroy this universe because why not? I don't know.
Yeah, like the reasoning behind, like, it really is summarizing the plot. You're like, what?
Yeah, we're just going to take this planet, which is actually man-made, and we're going to... Only the Queen can do it. Only the Queen can tell the planet what to do. The Queen is to tell the planet... Queen Catherine is going to tell the planet to go to this specific sun and run into it, destroying it, which will... like have a knockoff effect and destroy this entire solar system.
Because apparently in this planet there's a propeller, and like that's what they're using.
It's very silly. Anyways, DM, she does that. She goes to the planet, she sets it up to get moving. Cobra is there, and Cobra's like, I gotta stop you, Crystal Boy. And so they fight, but because Crystal Boy left one of his ribs sticking inside Dominique, Cobra now has a weapon that can actually touch Crystal Boy.
Yeah, it just splits him right in half.
Yeah, he splits him down the middle using his own frickin' rib.
Yeah.
Which is super badass.
It's so cool.
And then when Crystal Boy dies, it turns out Catherine has been brainwashed this entire time.
Which, I mean, has already kind of been set
Alluded.
up as that's probably what happened, because when Cobra was
captured in the first place, he wanted to send him back to the guild to be brainwashed and be used by them as well. So
right.
The idea of mind control and brainwashing was already set up. So it's not like a super big stretch to be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, I love you too. Too bad my sisters are dead.
I feel terrible guilt.
So I'm going to set this planet to self-destruct because apparently I can, as the queen, I can only tell the propeller to do one thing in my entire lifetime. So I'll just blow up the planet instead because it's already on a crash course.
Yeah.
So, yep, third triplet's gonna go kill themselves. Bye, buddy. And so Cobra gets back on his ship and leaves, and the planet explodes. And Lady Ameroid is like, oh, that kind of sucks. And he's like, yeah, the end.
This is, like, such a popcorn flick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this movie doesn't really have anything to say, and the things it does have to say aren't great if you, like, do a deep dive into it. It's pretty misogynistic. Like, the female characters, while being, like, 80s badass female characters, are pretty flat and don't have a lot of agency.
Love with me, man, yeah.
Don't have a whole lot of agency in a story about them. And then, yeah, the conclusion is just kind of like, well, I'll be talking to y'all, talking about y'all to my therapist.
And
Bye.
my therapist is this cigar and a bottle of whiskey.
Exactly.
Because I'm a man in the 80s.
I'm not gonna get help for this at all. But, with all that being said, this really was fun, and I can't stress enough how much the visuals aid in that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's got some amazing fun visuals, like the art direction of these planets that they go to, and the action sequences and stuff.
Yeah, like, and there's so many interesting things where it's like they're in a room full of like mirrors or windows or crystals, and like these are all separate scenes where then like the camera will do really fun things to like divide up the shot in interesting ways or reflect the characters' faces in cool ways. Like, so many cool things like that. And then it just has like ridiculous moments of parts of the melodrama where like the melodrama works because it's so like corny, and it kind of has a message in there about like love being more powerful than any weapon or something like that.
Yeah.
But then it also has moments of like Cobra carrying dead Jane Flower's body and
That
lady
just being picked up by tweezers from the ship.
Tweezers
Boink.
from the ship. And I don't even laugh because this movie is just like ridiculously stupid. I laugh because it's ridiculous, and that's kind of the point.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
So, this is based on a manga, right?
Yes. So, this is based on a manga that was done in 1978 by Buichi
Terasawa.
Terasawa. Did this manga, is well known mostly for this one, but what's more interesting to me is that this was directed by Osamu Dezaki, who actually goes by a whole bunch of different like pen names.
Okay.
I don't know the reason for that or like why, but yeah, apparently this director goes by a whole bunch of different pen names. He started at Mushi Productions as an animator and worked on 1001 Arabian Nights and Belladonna of Sadness.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then when he moved on to producing and directorial work, he's mostly doing TV, anime, and then some movies.
Oh, yeah, I guess something we should mention. There's a lot of nudity in this movie.
Yeah, this movie is rated R.
Yeah, pretty much all three of the triplets get naked multiple times in this movie.
Mm-hmm. They've got star nipples.
Yeah. I don't think we could show it, but their alien species has star-shaped nipples.
At least I'm assuming, and they're all not just wearing like
Artistic.
nipple covers or whatever.
Yeah, it's difficult to say.
Like, most of the nudity is fairly tasteful compared to a lot of the other things we've seen, but yeah, like, it still is rated R. Anyway, so this director started at Mushi, and then moved on to directing TV anime and stuff like that. We've seen a few of his other work, and when I mention what these things are, the art direction for this film is going to make a lot of sense.
Okay.
So, he was the director for Tomorrow's Joe.
Yes, okay.
The boxing anime.
Yes.
We watched. And Aim for the Ace.
Oh, hell yeah. Because it did a lot of fun stuff with the camera as well.
Yeah. And this director is specifically known for this kind of camera work.
Oh, hell yeah. Love it.
In the future, he is also going to direct the first 4 Hamtaro movies. He directs a whole bunch of stuff, but like those specifically stood out to me, and I was like, hello?
All right, then.
I'm interested to see what those look like.
Yeah, that's not until like the 90s?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Much later.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Unfortunately, Osamu Dezaki has passed away. He died fairly early on in his life career. I mean, he lived till he was like late 60s, early 70s.
Okay.
But he was a chain smoker, so yeah.
Lung cancer, complications.
Something attached to the smoking, for sure. So he isn't around anymore, but like, holy shit, was this movie great.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
There is also one other quick side thing to mention about this movie, and that is, in 1991, there was a music video on MTV for Matthew Sweet's song, Girlfriend, which I watched and I listened to the song, and I was like, I've maybe heard this once, but it uses a bunch of clips from this movie. It's like... and it was like a really popular video on MTV at the time. Which, I get, because, like, the animation and stuff in this movie is good, and it probably makes a kick-ass music video, but I'm just a little stunned that an AMV, an anime music video, was put on MTV.
That's amusing.
So yeah, that was this movie. I do highly recommend this. I thought this was a lot of fun.
Check it out. It was a good time. Mm-hmm. And then join us back here next time as we are doing a first for Animation Pilgrimage.
Oh.
We are doing a double feature because there were 2 films released one day apart that were literally meant to be watched back to back. So we are going to be watching Space Runaway Ideon, A Contact, and Be Invoked. 2 movies back to back. One is a summary of the TV show and the other one's the finale. So see you guys then.
Keep your fingers crossed. I hope it's half as good as this was.